Good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, August 18th, and this is our pre-market analysis of QOL trading. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like the video, if you like it, of course. Down below, you can hit the more button, or actually not a button, but the word more. Open up the description, and there's a couple links down there. You can join our Discord community, as well as go to our website and put your name, your email address in there for our weekly newsletter. In the newsletter, we go over the week in review and what's to expect in the following week regarding geopolitical news, economic data, price levels for Mag 7, broader markets, crypto, oil, etc. Anyways, let's get on with it right now. Today, I don't see anything that's too earth shattering here right now. The market is kind of weak this morning. I think it's due to oil and bond rates. The 10-year is elevating right now. Housing starts went down. I think that's going to be good for interest rates. Import prices month over month are up, actually down a little bit, excuse me. And then I think everybody's just kind of waiting for tomorrow. We got FOMC meetings minutes tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So we'll see how that potentially moves the market there. Anyways, let's get into things. The VIX is elevated right now. It's creating a couple gap ups here, right? So at least one gap up from the 17th at 1427. I'm going to keep that lower gap there. I'm not going to fill in this shorter gap in here. We are below the 20 at $16.40, 1646, and then 1694 is the 50-day, right? So the 20 and the 50. So we're below that. So that part is good. So little flush in the market today is elevating the VIX for us here. And one of the reasons is because oil is elevating, right? So oil is above the 50, it got above the 20, the 200 at $77.82 a barrel. Now the 50 at $79.28 a barrel, and then the 20 at $82.61 a barrel. We're pushing our way towards a 100-day moving average at $88.48 a barrel, and then above that we've got this gap down from July 24th at $90.40 a barrel. So I would not be shocked if we get to those levels there. The ES yesterday. So we had some levels coming into the ES yesterday, and I said before the market we're going to have to hold these levels. You could see we lost this level of 77.98. It then became a resistance level. Once you lost it, you could see how it responded there. And now, right now, we're holding the 77.2425 low here. This is going to be your line in the sand today. You're going to have to hold this. If you lose this, then you're going to come down here to these previous all-time highs, 76.32. Which is sitting right on the 20-day moving average at 76.38 and change. So I would not be surprised if you get this flush here and you lose this little speed zone that we have here. And then on the downside, if it continues to flush, we have more speed zones down here that could potentially impact things as well, right? Upside, you could get a pop into this 77.98 level. If you do, I would not be surprised if you get some headwind there and it'll pop and fade, right? Break and retest, right? So I'm not thinking longs until you get above the all-time high 78, 38, 50. And then you could possibly push into this midline regression. Actually, this is trend line 80,085. So the SPY is going to look the same. 767.46 going to have to hold that level. Otherwise, we pull back down here to the 760.40, which was a previous all-time high. We also have this open point of control sitting at 757.70, which is also sitting right on the 20-day moving average, 757.73. So I don't mind this pullback down here. Your first line right here, 760.40, but this open point of control, I would say that that's potentially going to be a target. We also have another point of control here. It's a gap up sitting here at 746.79. I'm going to actually draw that in for us right now. And that is from the 31st of July. Okay, so that would actually be your ideal pullback level, 746.43 if you do pull back there. So you're looking for pop and fades right now, even though we are above the 20s right now. So maybe pull back longs down here or pop and fades till you pull back down to the 20-day and the 50-day moving average. The 50-day looks the best actually out of all of that. So the Nasdaq, same thing. The Nasdaq, I still think is kind of strong here, but same thing from yesterday. We came in and I said that you're going to have to hold this three 30,074 level. We lost it in pre-market. You could see, so that could be a potential break and retest here. We do have some speed zones down here, so we are below this one level here. 29,783.54. You're going to have to regain that. I would not be thinking long unless you're above that. See how it's rejecting it right now pre-market. So we have the 50 sitting down here at 29,497, or yeah, call it 497. And then below that, 29,352.50. This would be a high from July 21st here. Not bad. But your ideal pullback is probably going to be that 29,166.23. So not thinking longs. I would not be thinking longs until you can regain this 30,074 level and hold. If you get that, then you can start pushing back into the highs from June 30th at 30,599. But right now, it looks like it's making its way to come and test these moving averages, the 50 and the 20. 50 sitting 29,496, call it 29,500, and then the 20 sitting at 29,164. So if you do continue to get that flush today, Qs are going to look the same. Same thing on the Qs. You could see in pre-market. You could see we lost this level here yesterday after the close. I said that we needed to hold that 730.83 yesterday. We lost that. You could see towards the end of the day, we lost it, came back there and rejected that level. So we are below that right now. Let's see if we have any point of controls open. Not really. But 7/11/10 could be a good pullback long. It's June 12th low. You got to have to hold this 719.32 level today. You're going to see how this responds when the market opens. If you hold this level, that's going to be a good pop and pullback long. If you lose that level, we have the 50 sitting at 717.74, and then you've got the 20 going to be sitting at 705.82, which is sitting on a high from July 20th. So I actually like this pullback long. If the market does flush 705, I would see how it reacts right there to maybe potentially take some longs here. On the upside here, you could see all these resistance levels that you have right there in order for us to continue to push higher. I would not be thinking long unless the market really pushed and chugged through the 730.83 level and held. Then you could push to the 737.43. And then above that, then you could push back into all-time high 748.65. All right, let's get into right back there. Let's get into the Mag 7. Let's talk NVIDIA. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button for me, and like this video. Got to get above 221.60 this morning in order to continue to push back higher. But you can see we lost this 224.76 level yesterday at the close at the post market. So right now, I've got some levels here. We've got an open point of control at 217.50. You can see the market is broke a level and then maybe come back down here and test it, and then 216.83 is an April high of is that this year? Yep. 216.83. That would be a decent pullback long, right? You break the highs, you break those levels, you come back down here and test it. 216.83 if we pull back down here. Kind of caught between a range here. Another level I've got here is 218.31. It's a midline regressional trend line that I have drawn here from April of last year. So just a little sell off this morning, nothing horrible, but it's always good for the marketplace there, right? All right, let's go. Apple's still holding that 301.97 level. However, you could see in pre-market it's rejecting this 308.36 level. Not thinking long unless you get above this 308.97. If you get above the 308.97, then you could push back up into the 20-day moving average sitting at 317.38. And I would say probably your line in the sand is going to be this 306.06 level, right? So this is a high that we had here from the 13th. We did break it yesterday, or broke it this morning, and then coming down and see if we could test that level. So I would say going to have to hold this level 308, 305.96 in order to continue to push higher. But you can see we've got the 50-day sitting at 309.08. So I would anticipate getting a little resistance there. This could actually chop around it also too if you're an Apple trader. Meta's in the penalty box right now due to their trial that they have going on. I don't even know what it's about. I think it's just about searching and how they're manipulating the algorithm. So keeps us. I think they're trying to prevent kids from being up late at night here. So holding this 558.66. Excuse me. We do have some open point of controls down here, 549.53, and then another one, 533.14. So it's definitely chugging its way down there. You lose 556.88 today, 549.53 would be my next level of support. Then you've got a 540.18 low from June 22nd. It's a weekly low. Below that, you've got this 533. So I would not be surprised if we come and we nailed all these targets here. We are below your moving averages. So when you're below your moving averages, here's your 20 at 590.83. Your 50 is sitting at 595.96. Your 100 is sitting well above 607.76. So you're looking for pop and fades, right? So if the market pushes up, you're looking for a fade. But yesterday was just a complete sell off. It does create a little bit of a speed zone if the market does decide to push back and get a little higher. You're going to have to get above 568.97, which is yesterday's close, in order to be thinking long. You can see it's already rejecting that in pre-market right now, so you could get some more downside into these lower levels that we have here. We do have a gap up here, actually. Gap up here from April 22nd down at 500 level, right? So you could be making your way down there to fill that gap. Okay, let's get into Google. Google's holding this higher end regressional trend line sitting at 337.39. If we lose that, I think we come down to 333.69 and possibly down to the 200-day moving average at 330.86. On the upside, I'm not thinking long on Google unless you get above the 20-day, which is sitting at 344.95. If you get above that, then you can push back into this low at 348.10, which is from June 30th. Above that, then you can start pushing back into the 50 and the 100-day moving averages. But right now, things are pretty weak. You have to pay attention to that. I think a pop, you lost this low here from the 14th. So if I would say if the market pops up in here, watch this 341.98 level. If you can't get above that, it could be a break, a break of a level and pop and fade, right? So watch your levels. We are below your moving averages, right? So pop and fade on the moving averages when you're below. Amazon, same thing. It's been stepping lower. See if we can hold this 20-day moving average, 257.09. We could consolidate a little bit here. I would not think long unless you get above 262.07. If you get above that, hold. You can push into the 270.73. Above the 270.73, you can move to 278.31. On the downside, if you lose the 20 and you lose the 258.19, 249.39 is your 100-day moving average. And I would probably say that maybe a pullback into this 245.73. It's just below the 50-day moving average of 248.32. Okay, where are we at now? Microsoft and SpaceX, and then we will be going into Tesla and get on with our day here. So Microsoft right now, same thing. We are above the 20-day moving average. 20-day moving average is sitting at 454.14. And then, so pullback longs, this gap up 486 to 84 would be a June high gap up. Maybe you pull back there. I like that long there. I wouldn't, you got an open point of control 496.88. So if you pop up there, I wouldn't be surprised to get a little headwind there. I would not think long on Microsoft until you get above this 506, which is an October low. And then you push into that 519.30 level right there. All right, let's get into SpaceX. So SpaceX is starting to get a little balance here a little bit. We are above the 20-day moving average of 123.85. We do have this open point of control, 129.22. So if the market flushes and you lose the 135, which is the opening day low, then you flush a 129.22 level low. You can see the open, the 150 level, that you got a lot of resistance up there. You create another open point of control at 148.40, 148.04. So it looks like it's pretty heavy up there. If you lose the low from yesterday, I think 135 is going to be in the picture here. And then below that, the 129.22, and then possibly down to the 20-day, which is 123.85. We do have another open point of control down here at 110.53. That being said, we do have a whole bunch of open point of controls up higher here. But that's when the market starts chugging along and we get back to those levels. Okay, let's get into Tesla now. Tesla had a wild afternoon here. Right here at about 2:15, it was just a huge, big spike, and then just a nasty wick. I wasn't trading it, but I happened to be watching it, so it was all nasty stuff there. So Tesla today, you can see right now we're losing this April low 337.24. It's actually the lows from yesterday as well. So if you pop up here, I would not be surprised if you get a little reaction up here, and then we flew it on down here 227. We do have this open point of control 318.91. I would not be surprised if you flush down there. If you flush down to the 20, I would not be surprised if you get a little support, right? But if you blow through it, then I think we're going to pot. Then I think we're going to target down to this 318.91. On the upside here, not thinking long until you can get above this 337.24. Even if you get above that 337.24, and be a little careful here. You've got to get above yesterday's close in order to push higher. I would not be thinking long on Tesla until you get above this 347.17 level. If you get above that, then you get back into that speed zone. And then you target that 362.64 up into the 369.90, 369.98 level. So on the downside, it looks like it's flushing a little bit today. So I'd be looking for pop and fades, even though we are above the 20-day moving average. We're still below the 50 and we're still below the 100-day moving average, right? So the longer term averages, it's still showing a little soft on Tesla, even though we've had a pretty decent rally over the last couple of weeks, right? But we can give all this stuff back here. See these speed zones that are coming into play right now. You got one right here that happened from the 13th. So you're going to have to watch this level here. I would say that level right there is a pretty decent level. 333.63. If we lose that level, I think we could flush down another $7 down here, the 23.26 level, right? As far as what we're going to do for today, we're going to use tomorrow's expiration date. I am going to change the call price to 340. And that'll increase the premium there. And then on the put side, I'm going to lower it to 325. So that will lower this premium, maybe a little lower than that or higher than that. It's a little better. Go 35. So 35 though, it's going to put us in. I can leave it at 30. So even though if I leave it at 330 on the put price and the close at $1.07, we're well below the close yesterday, right? So we closed another $5. This will open up in the two and possibly $3 range. So that would be the level that I'd be looking for right there. Anyways, that's going to be it for today. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button for me, like this video, and go down in the description area and join our Discord community, as well as go to our website, put your name and email address in there so you can get on our list for our weekly newsletter that gets put out every Sunday.